everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome to Last Days of Athobrae. And this is a game from Bradford S. Obie and David M. Panzer, and it is published by Moonlight More Games. Now, I did get this from the publisher because he sent me a new game called From the Shadows, which I've just finished taping and will be out in the next week or so. But I thought I would give this an opportunity. I did look it up. It looks like a really decent game, kind of a 4X game, but perhaps a little more abstract. I'll just move my phone out of the way. Perhaps a little more abstract. The world is dying, and you have to take on the mantle of 5 sovereign leaders, and you're going to try to compete to get off the planet by collecting resources, perhaps having to take them away from another faction. So perhaps taking them away from another faction so that you can evacuate your people. So it looks like a kind of interesting 4X game. I think it's going to be very exciting to play. You can play up to 5 players. I don't know if it tells me. Here we are. It is 2 to 5 players, 14 and up, and 30 to 45 minutes a player. So this is a fairly long game. I don't think it's heavy in terms of what you're trying to accomplish. So it may not be a heavyweight Euro-style game, but it is definitely going to be a long playing game. I believe there might be a solo, but I don't know that till we jump into the box. So let's open this box and get it done. So here we are. We are about to excitingly open the box here for the Last Days of Athobrae. Or Bray, I think that is really. If I was going to do it, I'd put a little bit of a Bray because of rolling your R's. Because rolling your R's are just cool. There we go. I'm really excited about this, actually, because I do love space games. It might be a little longer play than I particularly enjoy, perhaps, because I really like games under 2 hours, and depending on the count. Now, the rule book looks pretty good. Okay, I don't know why they always exist on the brown and black. I always have trouble, but the font size is a little bigger. That's good. So, the victory, be the first place to fully build your IQV and blast off into space. Okay. City tokens. So we got a good rule set. We're going to have to explore it. I was hoping to see a solo, perhaps, version. Let's just see attack basics. Winning the game facts. So I don't know if there's a solo version out there. So we'll probably play multi-handed, maybe 2 to 3 players. There we go. Here's our board. So the board isn't particularly big. There it is. And upside down. So there's your board, there's your plan. And so what you're going to do is you got a bunch of hexes, and you're going to put the hexes out here. The hexes represent different land types like forests and marshes and rivers and the usual things that you're going to find on a planet. The planet is going to start to destroy itself as you play along, and you can see we've got some faction boards. And we've got some punch-out here's to do. There are our different tokens, and lots of tokens, which is not surprising. Not surprising at all. And we've got looks like we have resource cubes. We have location. This is the top of one of the factions, this Suvi. So we have world events. I don't know what these are. Kreth, so it's probably another faction. Looks to me like oh, and they've got some nice storage too. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So one of the compliments I can say right off the bat is we have a really great insert. So it looks like we have plenty of places to store our dice, and we have different colored dice, probably one for each of the factions. We've got some nice wooden meeples. We've got our nice screened wooden tokens here. So overall, I mean, just looking at it, basically we have some very, very good components. Of course, you know me as the ultimate sleever. I'm going to want to go sleeve it. I'm got a feeling it's going to be a little tight for sleeves. That is a problem, as always. I know that I think publishers are starting to pay more attention to people who sleeve because the corners have to be just a little bit bigger. So we're going to have to figure that one out. If it doesn't sleeve up nicely, we'll probably ditch the... or I might cut a big hole in here or something, which is what I normally do. But we'll cross that bridge as we come to it. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to organize it for you. Then we're going to come back and show you that organization. But I think it's looking pretty good here in terms of at least some of the cardboard components. And I think it looks good. So that is it for the unboxing of the last days of Athobrae. And we are going to organize it for you. We are going to set it up for you. We are going to play through it. Now, I can't guarantee that I'm going to do an entire 3-hour playthrough for you. But I think what we will do is play enough just to show you some of the rules. So right now, I'm going to organize it for you. And I'm going to show it to you how I'm going to organize it. Now, I do sleeve, so we may have to make some adjustments with the... as I said, with the insert. But I think for those who don't sleeve, you've got a great insert here. Doom. So just taking 2 seconds, I am using Mayday sleeves right here, and they're the 1 5/8 by 2 1/8 inch, the small ones. For the bigger ones, of course, we're going to be using the normal 63.5 by 88 or 64 by 89, depending on which way you go. And that will be these cards here. This is the event, the Athobrae. So that's just to talk about the cards really, really quickly. And we're going to continue on doing this as part of what we do. So let's keep going. I'm excited. So as I'm going along, you can see that it's starting to come together. But so I've separated the blues, the reds, the 5 different player factions. I haven't separated the cards, which of course are, now I'm going to have to separate them out because they've been done on a print press and just thrown together and not separated, which is fine. Many games are like that, so it's not a big freaking deal. It's just going to take some time for me to go through all the decks and fix that up. Just enough room for, as you can see, the hexes, so that is good. Now, the one concern I have is we have some wasted space here on the back. So, and I agree that credits are important, but I think that perhaps here would have been an excellent spot for something like this, where we have these world hazards, poisons, this reference guide here, that, or put it on a separate sheet. Here too, we have some setups where, I didn't know what some of these tokens were, but these are city tokens, and they're all in there in the individual cities. But again, maybe an individual reference sheet for each of the players, because there might be some rules attached to these, and then we're going to be constantly perhaps shift the rulebook from player to player. Again, none of these are showstoppers, and these are common things that we find in a lot of games, but it is just something that, it's quality of life. Make sure that your last page really counts. And not to say that, as I said, credits aren't important, but there should be information here that could easily pass to somebody. And 2, when you have little counters like these, like the trap tokens, perhaps each individual faction on the board, like it would have been an opportunity on these faction boards, wherever they are, to have put a little space or made it just a little bit tall and put this information here rather than in the notebook. That means each person would have to know what the heck they're getting rather than have to again play past the rule book. Little things make things easier. Again, this does not affect the play. This is just a little bit, or the components, just a little bit in the rule book that says we could have arranged things differently. Now, I don't know how complicated the rule book is. Have not got that far because I haven't read it, but we will be doing that in a moment once I get this all done and the sleeves all done up. And when we were on the topic, so here I am. I've started putting the round tokens in these spots. And you can see there is no room for these. Again, so this is a pet peeve of if you're going to do an insert, and I know, you want a good box size and you want to make that, but why bother? If you might as well just paint it a big hole so I could stick some bags in it. And so this is really leading me towards the fact that what I would probably do is take this insert out, and I might do that, separate these in baggies, so each of the factions have their own baggie with their cards and all the bits and their dice, and then I would just hand out a baggie rather than dig them out of this. I am starting to wonder, again, this is something that happens with many games, but it's very annoying all of a sudden I put it all away and go, I don't have enough room for these. So I haven't even finished some of these over here, and it's kind of annoying, really, that I'm going to have to now use baggies or some other form to store some, but not others. So again, that's just a minor criticism of generalities when people create inserts. And it looked like a great insert when I opened it, and I really appreciate it. But again, we have to keep in thought about the users. Can I put sleeved cards in? Yes or no? Then if you can't, you should probably say that in your rules. 2, something that other manufacturers have done or publishers have done is if you're going to do an insert, put a little picture showing where they go. Maybe this is not the right setup because it's interpretive. So you have to think of these little things. These are the little things that separate a really, good game from a, oh my God, mind-blowing experience. If you look at games like Vindication or what's another good one? Endeavor. Dwellings of Eldervale, things like that, where they have beautiful game trays, and everything has a place, everything fits. But now we're getting into that situation where now I've got to look at alternatives. Do I use some of my little bead boxes, or do I use a baggie? What do I do with these? Am I just going to throw these in here? They got to go to the table. So, to me, I'd rather have them in little individual containers, which takes up space. So I think right off the bat, I'm going to say that my initial happiness is tampered by the fact that I don't think everything's going to fit in the box the way I want it to. And that is my opinion, of course. So that, again, this is subjective. This is not a qualitative type of criticism, but it is subjective to my feelings on it. Just my thoughts on that. So this is a pre-organization thing. So one of the things I will say, now I haven't sleeved the card yet, so I don't know how that's going to affect the box, but everything seems to be okay even with those. Bead boxes for a couple of that, but I'm still not 100% happy with that. We can pull that off. Now, one of the things the tests of some of our people who like to wash that likes to store these vertically. I store them horizontal. I have a feeling, though, if I was to store it the way it was designed horizontal, that if this got shaken around, and depending on how much room is left in the box, which there is a bit of a gap, we would come in finding cards and things all over the place if we were to store it the way it is stored right now. So again, when you do the insert, you have to make sure that the layers are tight to keep things from moving about. Maybe it goes this way. Maybe there's a different way of doing this, but even if I took these out, perhaps I would say probably not, because these don't fit right now. So I would say that this insert is a little bit scary if you are a vertical storage person. Now I got to go sleeve the cards, and that will be the final test of how this all fits in the box. So we're going to continue on here, and I'm going to sort cards, sleeve cards, and generally go crazy. So I'll be right back. So a little bit of a break. I'm starting to do the cards, and you can see them starting to be sorted here. I just want to say that despite my compulsive sleeving, the cards feel really good when I'm sorting them out. They have a really nice feel, really nice weight. Again, that speaks to just quality of components. So don't let the fact that I'm sleeving you scare you, because I am a compulsive sleever. I am one of those people. But keep in mind that this is a good quality cardstock, and the feel is really good in my hands. So judging as I go here, I am over here, you can't see it, there it is, the world events that are right here. There are a ton of them. So I think that this is really nice, makes it really replayability with so many world events. So anyway, we'll just keep going, and I'm going to make some comments as we go along. I've got one more deck to go here, and we'll see what that entails. So as I'm organizing, we noticed that, you may have noticed that I was able to put the sleeve test here, and it able to fit the sleeves. However, there it is sleeved. It is not going to fit as I suspected. You can see that, just another millimeter on every side probably would have done the trick. But unfortunately, that is not what they did. So it has failed the sleeve test. Again, that's just, my way of saying, that they could have spent 2 more minutes in going, we need to figure out how we fit sleeves. But they didn't do that. That's okay. Again, that's all subjective to my opinion. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Anyway, we'll continue on this adventure. Da, 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 da. Here we are in the unboxing, like as I like to call it, where I now show you how it sort of all went together. And the first thing I will show you is it doesn't fit all in the box. That is not a surprise. I tried my best, and with making use of the insert. Not a big deal, but it is. So on top is the player boards. They are asymmetrical. There is the playboard. There is the rules. Here are your 5 decks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks. For players, there's your hexes for the game. Underneath here are all the different cities with their different powers. We have some more circly hexes, tokens, more tokens that go up here. We have our resources, our resource cube that we will talk about, we will roll. We have our cards that do fit, but they do fit this way as opposed to trying to fit them in the insert. I didn't even bother with these city decks. Interesting they call them city decks as opposed to a faction deck, which amounts to the same thing. But that is how it all went together. I may be able to find a better way, but for now, that is it. From here, we are going to move on to the setup. So far, I don't think this is going to be a 5-5-5 game. I suspect we have a medium game with a heavier play time. I don't think the mechanics are hard. I just think the play time is really going to have to do with the player count. The higher the player count, the longer that it's going to take, plus the amount of time that folks are going to have analysis paralysis, because once we get into some of those event cards and city cards, people are going to have to think about how they're going to get a specific resource, and I think that's going to add to the time. So I can certainly think that on your first play, probably going to want to allow probably 3 hours for a total playthrough for probably 4 people. With 5 people, I would say you're going to be 3, maybe a little bit more. It's going to take as long as people are willing to take up the rules, and if they can plan during their turn. So in other words, the guy that is surprised when his turn comes up is not going to be very helpful. Oh, it's my turn. Oh, let me think about this. As opposed to, right, I'm thinking about what I can do, trying to think about all the things that are on the map. How do I get to someplace, or what do I do if somebody has a specific resource? Maybe I can get that. Great, it's my turn. Let's go. I've looked at my cards. I know what I'm going to do. So there is that aspect of it. So let's get into the setup. That is going to be in the next video. The first video we're going to do, you've just seen, is just the unboxing and the organization. The next video is going to be a setup and possibly go over some of the rules and do start the playthrough. And then on the third video, we're going to do the playthrough to the end game and then some final thoughts. So there will be 3 videos here, and that's what we're going to be doing.